if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans.
Imagine witnessing the impossible on live TV, a moment when a media titan finally gets taken down. That's exactly what happened when Karoline, with razor-sharp precision, dismantled Whoopi in an exchange that left viewers breathless and the network scrambling. Today, we're diving deep into that explosive confrontation and exploring how it's shaking the very foundations of mainstream media.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
For years, Whoopi reigned supreme on her hit talk show, a fixture of television known for its larger-than-life opinions and relentless style. Her approach was as captivating as it was controversial, a blend of bold assertions and dismissive retorts that turned every episode into a personal power play. Fans either adored or despised her, but there was no denying her influence. In her world, opposing views were swiftly silenced, and her every word seemed carved in stone. But when Karoline entered the picture, everything changed. On that fateful day, as the cameras rolled and the studio lights shone down, Karoline broke through the established order. With a calm confidence and a smile that hinted at knowing more than anyone else in the room, she launched a verbal onslaught that left Whoopi scrambling for a defense.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help because voters are going to re-elect President Trump back to the White House very soon because voters see these trials that are being brought forward against President Trump for what they are. They are sham show trials. They are election interference in an attempt to imprison President Trump. And the irony in all of this is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and these ladies on The View constantly say President Trump is the alleged threat to democracy, when in fact they themselves are wishfully thinking that President Trump will be imprisoned when he has not been convicted of any crimes. That is the real threat to democracy. Voters see that, and that's why President Trump continues his dominance in the polls, not just with Republicans and independents, but he's also picking up historic gains with Democrat constituencies such as African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and union workers.
Karoline's words weren't just clever retorts. They were a calculated, fact-based dismantling of the narrative that Whoopi had so carefully built over the years. In one swift moment, she exposed the cracks in a facade that had long been unchallenged. The impact was instantaneous. The energy in the studio shifted like a tidal wave. What had been a familiar, predictable debate turned into a riveting showdown that no one could ignore. The audience, once charmed by Whoopi's habitual bravado, now saw a refreshing dose of accountability. Karoline didn't just counter the arguments, she obliterated them piece by piece, leaving no doubt about the importance of truth and precision in public discourse.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
In the wake of that defining moment, the fallout was nothing short of a media earthquake. The network, long known for its unchecked celebrity, found itself in the eye of a storm. Major advertisers began to pull their support, as defamation lawsuits and internal crises started to emerge.
That you saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
So you cannot be attractive and smart?
Executives were left scrambling, issuing statements that couldn't capture the full extent of the damage. What had been a platform for sensational opinions was now exposed as a pressure cooker of misinformation and unchallenged authority. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered about the panic that gripped the corridors of power. This wasn't just a minor hiccup. It was a wake-up call that forced the entire media industry to confront its own shortcomings. For too long, a handful of voices had been allowed to dominate the conversation without any meaningful checks. Karoline's performance wasn't simply a personal victory. It was a rallying cry for change, a signal that the era of unaccountable commentary might finally be coming to an end. But what does this mean for the future of our media landscape? Karoline's fearless confrontation has sparked a broader debate that goes far beyond a single episode. It challenges the very notion of who gets to speak and who decides what counts as truth in today's polarized world. Viewers are no longer content to be passive recipients of one-sided narratives. They're demanding more rigor, more transparency, and above all, accountability from those in power. Consider this. If a single, incisive exchange can upend decades of unchallenged dominance, what's next? Are we about to see a wave of new voices rising up to question the status quo, or will the old guard simply adapt to these new demands? The answer is still unfolding, but one thing is clear. Audiences are no longer willing to accept tired, unchallenged opinions as gospel. They crave debate that's rooted in fact, delivered with energy, and free from the predictable monotony of past programming. As we break down what happened, it's important to understand the stakes at play. The confrontation between Karoline and Whoopi wasn't just about two individuals clashing on live TV. It was about the shifting balance of power in an industry that has long operated without meaningful accountability. Whoopi's dominance had, for a long time, created an environment where dissent was not just unwelcome, it was systematically shut down. But Karoline's performance broke that cycle. Her precise, data-driven critique highlighted a growing demand for a more balanced and honest conversation, one that invites scrutiny rather than suppressing it. In the immediate aftermath, the repercussions have been far-reaching. Not only has the network's reputation taken a severe hit, but the entire media ecosystem is now reeling from the shock. Advertisers are reconsidering their alliances, and even long-standing allies are beginning to question whether the era of unchecked opinions is finally drawing to a close. This seismic shift is a reminder that in today's world, every statement is subject to scrutiny, and every claim must stand up to the relentless pursuit of truth. Looking forward, the implications are profound. Karoline's rise isn't just a flash in the pan, it's a beacon for what could be the future of televised debate. Imagine a media landscape where every argument is rigorously fact-checked, where bold statements are met with immediate, incisive responses, and where the audience's trust isn't taken for granted. That's the direction many are hoping for, and the events of that unforgettable day suggest that change might be closer than we think. This isn't just about turning the tables on a media giant. It's about redefining what we expect from those who shape public opinion. In a time when misinformation can spread like wildfire and every word carries enormous weight, viewers are demanding more than ever before. They want conversations that are dynamic, that challenge the status quo, and that ultimately empower them to see through the noise. So, what does this mean for you as a viewer? It means that you hold more power than ever before. The media can no longer operate in a vacuum, insulated from the very audience it claims to serve. When voices like Karoline's rise to challenge entrenched power, they remind us that accountability is not just a buzzword, it's a necessity. The question now is, will the media listen, or will the old patterns persist, even in the face of overwhelming demand for change? As the dust begins to settle, and the industry grapples with these seismic shifts, one thing remains clear. The conversation has only just begun. Karoline's moment of triumph is a testament to the power of courage and clarity in an era marred by half-truths and unchecked opinions. It's a call to action for everyone who values honest discourse and transparent debate. The future of media is being rewritten right before our eyes, and it's up to us to ensure that truth and accountability become the new norm. So, what do you think? Is this the dawn of a new era in media, or will the networks find a way to revert to their old ways? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with anyone who believes in the power of truth, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the stories that are reshaping our world. In this turbulent time, remember, every conversation matters, every fact counts, and every voice has the potential to spark change. The clash between Karoline and Whoopi might just be the beginning of a revolution in televised debate. And it's one you won't want to miss. Stay tuned, because the story is far from over, and the next chapter is just around the corner. For more of the latest content, check out the next video.